Hey guys, Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Turtles of Greyskull Wal-Mart exclusive. Oh, jeez, especially in this case, Leatherhead, brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel, because really this is a pretty solid figure and one of the better offerings from this whole Turtles of Greyskull BS we've had to suffer through. But the unfortunate thing is, yeah, it's a Walmart exclusive and a total pain in the ass to find. I myself have never found the Merman. I'm holding out hope for that, though I probably shouldn't hold my breath on it, because I'm pretty sure he came out during the summer, and well, the only Walmart I have that gets these never had him. They had tons of Moss Man, tons of Krang, few of this guy, zero Merman. So that sucks, because if you know me, you know that I love me some Merman. It's one of my favorites, but I'm not going to pay scalper prices for a figure that, quite frankly, should not be scalped. That's really effing stupid to me. But we're not talking about all that. This is my first review of the new year. I want to try and be as optimistic as possible, despite the fact that my optimism is at an all-time low, because I'm very unsure about the future due to the powers that be. And don't try to convince me otherwise in the comments. You are wasting your time if you do that. I'm not going to say why I feel this way. That's my business and my business alone. And last I checked, this was a freaking toy review, not why Overlord's feeling a bit down in the dumps as far as the future of 2025 is concerned. So, with that being said, before this video goes down the tubes any more than it already has, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review. Take a look-see at all Leatherhead has to offer in terms of accessories. Starting off with this crazy card thing. Let's look at the back. It's got one of the little pamphlets in case you're a cotton-headed ninny-mungans and don't know how an Origins figure comes apart. He, of course, comes with this big-ass tail. This thing is freaking massive. And it's not bendy, and it doesn't have a lot of give to it. And the peg initially is in his ass. Literally. There's a little butthole there. But it pops out as soon as you snap the tail on. So why they even bothered plugging it in there in the first place, I don't know. But it does stay in. It's nice and tight. It'll rotate. It'll move up and down. But it's also freaking huge. So we're taking that thing off for now. Good luck getting that peg out if you want it out. Then we also have his crazy bear trap weapon thing. It's got a handle on it. He holds it kind of like a gun. But it can fit in either hand. I did heat the hand up to get it in there due to the sculpt of the fingers, but you might not need to do that. We also have this helmet. You could take off his hillbilly crash hat here and swap on his helmet if you want. I think he actually comes packaged with the helmet on, but there you go. That's what he looks like with his helmet. Pretty standard stuff. It doesn't really snap in there all that well. I prefer to use the hat, because the hat stays on better. I say that as it slips right off his head, okay. But as you can see, the hat stays on a little bit better. I don't know why that is, but it just freaking does. So, I'm gonna roll with that, because I like the hat. You know, Leatherhead normally has a hat anyways, so that just makes sense to me. There we go. Man. Magnets, people. Magnets! That would be nice. To have just magnetic hats. Or just swappable heads with different hats. I don't know. But as far as Leatherhead's articulation goes, he does have a hinged jaw. One of the very few Origins to have this. What is it? Skeletor and Viper? The only other two that come to mind. Because what is it? Two-Bop Steady, Splinter Skull, and even my boy Reptilax, they didn't have a hinge jaw, but Leatherhead's got one. Granted, he's got a big old honking face, so he can afford to have one, but other than that, his head does look side to side and all around. Not the tightest thing, but it's good enough. So there is that. His shoulders will go out, back down. They will rotate forward and back. His Craven the Hunter ass vest does not hinder anything. It's also not clasped together, so you could just pop the arms off and slip it off. His arms also move forward and back. He's got a single jointed elbow. That is pretty tight. So there you go. He's got swivel in the elbow as well. He's got a hinge in the wrist with rotation. He, like Mossman, I believe, is where he gets his hands from, the mutated Mossman, has the little kind of tabs instead of the straight, like, circular, cylindrical pegs for the wrists. He does have a waist twist. That works just fine. Hips will kick forward about this far. Kick back about that far. And then out to the side, does perfect split. He's got the kind of snake men legs going on there. Same with the upper arms. His knees are single jointed. Very tight on the knees. Had to heat those up. But they work. He does have a boot swivel with a hinge in the foot and a rocker joint. And yeah, like I said, very surprised to have this guy. Very happy to have this guy, though. I always liked Leatherhead. I'm more of a 03 Leatherhead guy, but that's more or less the Mirage Comics version, and I'm not going to get into all that, but very happy to have this guy. I managed to grab two, one for me and one for my good buddy Evil Villain, because he worked out a trade with me to get one, so that is that. But yeah, I would say check your Wal-Marts. I know this is probably going up later than when I record it, but check your Wal-Marts. You never know what you might find. You could even find the merman I'm looking for, which if you do, hit me up, and maybe don't charge me an arm and a leg for it, because I'm not paying for your hobby too. Mine's expensive enough. So with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's good old Leatherhead alongside the quote-unquote previous Turtles of Greyskull figures we took a look at on the channel quite some time ago, back in November, if I'm not mistaken. April O'Neil Sorceress and the Mighty Hordak. Now, I say quote-unquote because we did take a look at Two-Bop Steady and Metal Botto yesterday, so for being specific here, these are the last two Turtles of Greyskull figures we looked at that weren't bullshit-ass exclusives. So, you can buy these anywhere. I'm pretty sure they're in stock pretty much anywhere. So, yeah, highly recommend this Hordak. He is ultra bussin', as I said in his review. Getting them out of here. Bringing our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibolith, right there. And the infamous Element Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone because he is not a 5.5-inch figure. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and I'm going to stand by my previous statement in saying that good old Leatherhead here is one of the better offerings from the Turtles of Greyskull line brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel. The only unfortunate thing, however, is the fact that he is a Wal-Mart exclusive. And I'm going to say, oh, jeez, once more in regards to that, because much like the Merman from this line, this guy has been relatively difficult for most people to find. As I mentioned earlier, it was a stroke of sheer luck that I was able to obtain one of these guys for not just myself, but also my good buddy Evil Villain. So here's hoping that the Super Shredder and the King His Foot Soldier are, well, obtainable at the very least. We're not going to say easily obtainable, because let's face it, this guy and Merman weren't. So here's hoping that any future Wal-Mart exclusives are at least obtainable. Or, you know, maybe they just stopped doing them altogether. That'd be nice too. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.